What if I told you that you could stop a stroke in its tracks, before help even arrives, with one simple 3-minute trick? Would you believe it? A few months ago, I got a call from my aunt, 76 years old, living alone. Her voice trembled, her words slurred. In that terrifying moment, she remembered something her doctor once said: "Act fast, and your brain will thank you for the rest of your life." She didn't panic. Instead, she did one simple thing that changed everything. By the time the ambulance arrived, she was conscious, breathing steadily, and her brain untouched by severe damage. And here's the truth: most people don't know what to do in those crucial minutes. That's why this video could literally save a life. Maybe yours, or someone you love. Stay until the end, because today we're breaking down the exact 3-minute trick that neurologists and paramedics swear by. The one that could mean the difference between walking out of a hospital or never walking again. The silent killer that strikes without warning. Do you know that every 40 seconds, someone somewhere in the world suffers a stroke? And every 4 minutes, someone dies from one. That's not just a number. It's someone's father, mother, or grandparent. According to the World Health Organization, stroke is the second leading cause of death globally and the third leading cause of disability. In the United States alone, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that nearly 800,000 people experience a stroke every year. But here's what's even more shocking. Up to 80% of strokes can be prevented. And early intervention within the first few minutes can completely change the outcome. Let me tell you about someone named Robert, a 68-year-old retired teacher. One morning, while making coffee, his right hand suddenly went numb. His mug slipped, his speech slurred, and his wife panicked. But Robert, remembering something his doctor once told him, took immediate action. Before the ambulance arrived, he performed a quick breathing and posture adjustment, something neurologists refer to as a self-preservation maneuver. Within minutes, his symptoms eased just enough for him to stay conscious and aware. That 3-minute trick? It saved his brain from irreversible damage. So, what actually happens in those terrifying moments? And why do doctors always say, "Time is brain"? Number 2. What happens during a stroke? Explained. Simply imagine your brain as a bustling city. Millions of neurons act as workers, cars, and machines, constantly sending and receiving signals. Now, imagine a sudden traffic jam where no one can move. That's what a stroke is. A sudden interruption in blood flow to a part of your brain. There are two main types of strokes. Ischemic stroke, about 87% of all cases, caused by a blood clot blocking a brain artery. Hemorrhagic stroke, about 13%, caused by a blood vessel bursting inside the brain, flooding it with blood. Both types starve brain cells of oxygen. Within 1 minute, nearly 2 million brain cells begin to die. Within 3 minutes, the damage spreads rapidly, affecting speech, movement, and consciousness. That's why acting fast isn't optional. It's critical. Here's what most people don't realize. The brain doesn't stop functioning instantly. It has a few minutes of backup energy, and that's exactly when you can step in. Those 3 minutes can mean the difference between a mild scare and lifelong paralysis. To make a long story short, your brain gives you a small window, and your reaction decides what happens next. Number 3. The golden window. Why every second counts. Doctors call it the golden window. The brief period after a stroke begins when fast action can prevent permanent brain injury. According to research published in the Journal of the American Medical Association, JAMA, the effectiveness of stroke treatment decreases by 10% for every 10-minute delay. That means if you wait even half an hour before reacting, your brain could lose its chance for a full recovery. Here's the truth. Most strokes don't kill instantly. What kills is the delay, the hesitation, the wait-and-see attitude. Some people think, maybe it's just dizziness, or I'll feel better after some water. But during that time, brain tissue dies. And here's where our 3-minute trick comes in. It's not a magic cure, it's science. It's about helping your brain maintain oxygen, balance, and blood flow before professional help arrives. You can think of it as a bridge, keeping your brain alive until the ambulance gets there. So, what exactly is this 3-minute trick? Let's talk about it step by step. Number 4. The 3-minute trick that saves lives. This trick is rooted in first aid neuroscience and emergency response science. It's simple, fast, and doesn't require any equipment. It's based on 3 principles: calm, circulation, and position. Here's how it works. Step 1. Sit or lie down immediately, safely. If you're standing, don't try to shake it off. Sit or lie on your left side if possible. Why the left? Because most strokes affect the right side of the body, and lying left helps maintain better blood flow to the brain. Keep your head slightly elevated, about 30 degrees, using a pillow or your arm. This prevents further pressure buildup and reduces the risk of swelling. Step 2. Breathe deeply and slowly for 60 seconds. Deep breathing increases oxygen delivery to your brain. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2, and exhale through your mouth for 6. Do this for about a minute. This simple act slows your heart rate, calms your nerves, and stabilizes your oxygen flow. Remember, panic starves your brain faster than the stroke itself. Step 3. Loosen anything tight: collars, belts, or ties. Restricted clothing can reduce oxygen circulation and make you dizzy. Freeing your chest and neck improves airflow and helps your body maintain equilibrium. Step 4. Use one side of your body, the stronger one, to tap your chest gently for 60 seconds. This mild tapping, known as percussive stimulation, promotes blood flow and keeps your awareness active. Neurologists sometimes recommend gentle tapping as a sensory trigger to keep neural activity engaged while help is on the way. Step 5. Keep talking, even if it's slurred. Try counting or repeating your name. This isn't just for communication. It keeps the speech center of your brain active, potentially limiting long-term speech damage. And that's it. A 3-minute series of small actions that can make a massive difference. Sounds simple? It is. But simple doesn't mean ineffective. These steps can preserve vital oxygen and buy you precious time before professional treatment starts. Number 5. Understanding stroke symptoms. Early. Now that you know what to do, let's talk about how to spot it. The most reliable method is the FAST acronym, used by emergency responders worldwide. F. Face. Ask the person to smile. Does one side droop? A. Arm. Ask them to raise both arms. Does one drift downward? S. Speech. Is their speech slurred or strange? T. Time. If any of these signs appear, call emergency services immediately. But here's something most people don't know. Sometimes strokes start with subtler signs: sudden blurry vision or double vision, a feeling of dizziness or imbalance, a brief loss of coordination, an intense, unusual headache. If you feel off for no clear reason, don't ignore it. The first few minutes can decide your entire future. To make a long story short, if your body whispers, listen before it screams. Number 6. Why seniors are most at risk. Let's be honest. Age brings wisdom, but it also brings wear and tear to the body's most important systems. The heart and the brain, once perfectly synchronized, start to lose a bit of their rhythm. For seniors, this makes the risk of stroke significantly higher. According to the National Institute on Aging, over two-thirds of all strokes happen to people above age 65. Why? Because as we age, our blood vessels stiffen. It's like going from flexible garden hoses to old, brittle pipes. They don't handle pressure changes as well. Years of high blood pressure, cholesterol buildup, and inflammation cause these vessels to narrow. Even small blood clots can become deadly. And that's not all. Seniors often deal with comorbidities, medical conditions that silently multiply the risk. Diabetes thickens blood and damages small arteries. Hypertension weakens vessel walls. High cholesterol causes plaque buildup that can break loose at any moment. Number 7. The role of blood pressure, the hidden trigger. Blood pressure, two simple numbers that can decide the fate of your brain. Most people treat it as just a reading on a cuff, but for doctors, it's the pulse of your vascular health. When your blood pressure spikes, your arteries strain like overfilled balloons. A sudden surge, say 180 over 110 millimeters of mercury, can rupture fragile vessels in the brain, causing a hemorrhagic stroke. On the other hand, when it drops too low, parts of the brain might not receive enough oxygen, leading to an ischemic stroke. Here's what's alarming. Many seniors experience silent hypertension. They feel fine, but their pressure fluctuates wildly throughout the day, especially under stress, dehydration, or after salty meals. A 2023 study in the American Heart Journal found that fluctuations in blood pressure increase stroke risk by 42%, even more than consistent high pressure. That means monitoring your blood pressure isn't optional. It's life insurance. If you don't have a monitor at home, try this simple estimation technique. If you suddenly feel your face flush, heartbeat pounding in your ears, or lightheaded, assume your pressure is high. If you feel weak, cold, or your vision fades momentarily, it might be dropping. In either case, lie down safely, loosen tight clothing, and breathe slowly. Remember, your goal is to stabilize, not panic. Because panic, quite literally, spikes your blood pressure even more. Number 8. 3-minute response checklist for seniors. When a stroke hits, confusion takes over. That's why you need a mental checklist, a plan your brain can run automatically. Think of it as your 3-minute emergency script. Step 1. Recognize and react. Fast if you feel sudden weakness, speech trouble, or dizziness. Stop everything. Don't try to walk it off. Time is your enemy now. Step 2. Call emergency services immediately. Even if you're alone, use voice-activated devices like Siri, Alexa, or Google Assistant. Set them up beforehand to respond to voice commands like call 911. Step 3. Position your body correctly. Lie down on your left side, head slightly raised. This reduces blood pooling and maintains circulation. Avoid lying flat. That can increase intracranial pressure. Step 4. Deep breathing. 1-minute cycle. Breathe in through your nose for 4 seconds, hold for 2, exhale for 6. This regulates oxygen levels and calms your heart rate. Step 5. Engage your brain. Keep one side active. Gently move your fingers or tap your leg. This stimulates neural circuits and may prevent total paralysis. Step 6. Focus your speech. Even if your words sound strange, keep speaking. It keeps your brain's language center working. Step 7. Prepare your surroundings. If possible, unlock your door so paramedics can enter. Keep your phone close and visible. These might sound like small things, but they buy you precious oxygen and time. Remember, your brain can survive up to 3 to 5 minutes without new oxygen. After that, damage becomes irreversible. Your actions bridge the gap until help arrives. Number 9. Common mistakes people make during a stroke. Unfortunately, even the smartest people make dangerous mistakes in these moments, not because they don't care, but because they panic or follow myths. Let's break a few of them right now. Mistake number 1. Drinking water or taking medication. Many think, maybe I'm just dehydrated, and grab a glass of water or their regular pills. But swallowing during a stroke can be deadly. The throat muscles may already be weak, and water can enter the lungs. Mistake number 2. Lying flat on the back. This increases pressure in the brain and makes breathing harder. Always keep your head slightly elevated. Mistake number 3. Waiting it out. This is the deadliest one. Strokes don't pass. Every minute without blood flow kills millions of brain cells. If you or someone you know experiences symptoms, call emergency services immediately. Mistake number 4. Driving yourself to the hospital. You could lose consciousness on the way. Even if you think you can make it, don't risk it. Wait for paramedics. They can start treatment right there in the ambulance. Mistake number 5. Ignoring mild or temporary symptoms. Sometimes stroke symptoms disappear within minutes. What doctors call a transient ischemic attack, or mini-stroke. But don't be fooled. A TIA is your body's final warning. Up to 1/3 of TIA patients suffer a full-blown stroke within the next 48 hours if they don't get help. So next time your body whispers with numbness, dizziness, or slurred speech, don't wait for it to scream. Number 10. How to train your mind to act. Fast. You can't control when a stroke happens, but you can control how your brain responds. Mental training is your best defense. Try this exercise once a week. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and imagine you're home alone. Picture the signs: a drooping face, a numb arm, slurred speech. Visualize yourself recognizing it immediately, performing your 3-minute steps, and calling for help. This is called cognitive rehearsal, and it works. Studies in Frontiers in Psychology show that rehearsing emergency responses strengthens neural pathways, making you more likely to act automatically under stress. Athletes, pilots, and surgeons use this same technique. And seniors can too. You can even make it fun. Test your friends or family members. Ask, if I suddenly couldn't speak, what would you do? The more your circle practices, the faster they'll react in real life. Number 11. The power of awareness. Teaching family and caregivers. A stroke doesn't just affect one person. It affects everyone around them. That's why awareness isn't only a medical topic. It's a family mission. If you live with loved ones or have caregivers, make sure they know the FAST test by heart. F. Face. Ask the person to smile. Does one side droop? A. Arm. Ask them to raise both arms. Does one drift downward? S. Speech. Ask them to repeat a simple sentence. Is speech slurred or strange? T. Time. If yes to any of these, it's time to call emergency services immediately. Here's a tip. Print the FAST chart and stick it on the refrigerator or near the phone. It's one of those visuals that can turn panic into action. And for those living alone, teach your neighbors. A quick conversation like, if I ever seem confused or can't speak, please check on me, can save your life. You see, awareness spreads like light. The more people know, the less darkness stroke can bring. Number 12. Nutrition and daily habits that prevent strokes. They say, you are what you eat. And when it comes to stroke prevention, that's truer than ever. Every bite either fights or fuels inflammation in your blood vessels. Here's what science says works best. 1. Embrace the Mediterranean diet. This diet isn't just a fad. It's backed by decades of research. Rich in olive oil, fish, nuts, and leafy greens, it reduces stroke risk by up to 30%, according to Harvard studies. 2. Cut down on sodium. Salt stiffens arteries and raises blood pressure. Instead, season food with herbs, lemon, or pepper. Your heart won't miss the salt, and neither will your brain. 3. Add potassium-rich foods. Bananas, sweet potatoes, spinach. All help balance blood pressure naturally. Potassium literally pushes excess sodium out of your body. 4. Hydrate the smart way. Dehydration thickens blood, making it harder for the heart to pump. Aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water a day. Herbal teas count too. 5. Limit processed meats and sugars. These foods trigger inflammation and vascular plaque formation. Replace them with whole foods, fruits, beans, oats, and seeds. And remember, prevention isn't punishment. Think of it as upgrading your brain's power supply. If you're a senior, every nutritious meal is another brick in the wall protecting your brain. You're not just feeding your body. You're investing in more years of clarity, laughter, and independence. Number 13. Exercises that strengthen brain blood flow. Now, here's a myth we need to bust. Seniors shouldn't exercise too much. In reality, safe, low-impact movement is the best way to keep your blood flowing and your brain alive. You don't need to lift heavy weights or run marathons. Try these gentle, doctor-approved activities. Green circle neck rotations and shoulder rolls. Loosen stiff arteries and improve oxygen delivery to the brain. Seated leg lifts keeps blood moving from your lower body and prevents clots. Deep breathing exercises. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. This calms your nervous system and improves circulation. Walking. Even a 15-minute walk a day lowers stroke risk by 20%. For those who struggle with mobility, chair yoga or simple hand stretches can do wonders. And here's a secret. The brain thrives on rhythm. Dancing, clapping, or tapping to music strengthens the connection between your body and your neurons. So, the next time you put on your favorite song, don't just listen, move. That movement keeps your neurons dancing too. Number 14. Monitoring devices. Every senior should have. We live in an incredible era where technology can literally warn us before danger strikes. Let's talk about the smart tools that every senior should have in their safety kit. 1. A reliable digital blood pressure monitor. Choose one with large buttons and a memory function that stores readings. Check your BP twice daily, once in the morning, once in the evening. 2. A smartwatch with ECG and fall detection. Modern devices like the Apple Watch or Samsung Galaxy Watch can detect irregular heartbeats or sudden falls and alert emergency contacts instantly. 3. A pulse oximeter. This small fingertip device measures oxygen levels, crucial for those with respiratory or heart issues. 4. A voice assistant system. Whether it's Alexa, Siri, or Google Assistant, set voice commands like call ambulance or send help to family. Practice them regularly. 5. A medical ID bracelet or app. Include your blood type, allergies, and medications. If you ever become unresponsive, first responders can act fast. Remember, these aren't just gadgets, they're lifelines. Think of them as your personal guardian angels. Silent, watchful, and ready when you need them most. Number 14. Real-life story. The 73-year-old who saved herself in 3 minutes. Let's bring all this to life with a real story. Meet Margaret, 73, from Ohio. One quiet evening, She was reading on her porch when she suddenly felt her right hand go numb. Her cup of tea slipped from her fingers and shattered. Her speech began to slur, but Margaret didn't panic. She remembered watching a documentary about stroke preparedness just months earlier. Immediately, she sat down, tilted her head slightly up, and began deep breathing. She tried to raise her arms. One drooped. That's when she whispered to her smartwatch, "Call 911." Within 3 minutes, paramedics arrived. They confirmed she was having an ischemic stroke. But because she acted within those first minutes, the clot hadn't yet done major damage. 2 weeks later, Margaret walked out of the hospital, smiling, talking, and completely independent. Her doctors called her a miracle. But as Margaret said, it wasn't a miracle. It was preparation. That's the mindset every senior needs. Because luck favors the prepared. Number 16. How the brain recovers after a stroke. Here's something inspiring. The brain is more resilient than we think. Even after a stroke, it can rewire itself. This is called neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new connections and rebuild pathways lost to injury. Therapists use simple techniques to help this process. Repetitive physical movement, like hand squeezes, speech exercises, visual tracking, following a moving object, cognitive puzzles, and memory games. It's not instant, and it's not easy, but it's absolutely possible. In fact, a study in the Lancet Neurology found that seniors who begin rehab within 24 hours of a stroke have double the recovery rate of those who wait longer. That's why that early 3-minute action matters so much, because it keeps your brain alive long enough to heal itself. Every movement, every breath, every word, it all matters. So, take a moment right now, breathe deeply, smile, and remember, you're stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you were 20 minutes ago. If this message touched you, share it. Send it to your parents, your grandparents, your neighbors, anyone who needs to hear that a stroke doesn't have to be the end. Because when we share awareness, we share life.